Peter, why do BMW 328i owners act like they're driving an M3 when it sounds like a Dyson vacuum on Red Bull?
Because denial is a lifestyle, Brian. Every 328i owner wakes up, starts that N20 engine and plays Will It Survive Today? Spoiler, it won't.
Who actually buys one of these?
People who say, I wanted something reliable but also German. Bro, that's like saying I wanted something healthy but also deep fried. They've got a Starbucks cup in one hand and a check engine light in the other.
What's so bad about the N20 engine anyway?
Where do I even start? Timing chain stretches faster than their credit card bill. The oil leaks are so bad it looks like the engine's crying for help. And honestly, the N20 feels like BMW's midlife crisis, their first real shot at a 2.0 turbo gas engine, and they completely fumbled it. It's like they tried to build efficiency and ended up building anxiety instead.
At least it's comfortable inside though, right?
Comfortable. Bro, it's all fake leather and squeaky trim. The iDrive system lags harder than a McDonald's Wi-Fi connection. And every time you open the door, it smells like coolant.
Why do they always act like they are driving a rocket ship?
Because they're drunk on that BMW badge, Brian. They hear the turbo whistle once and suddenly think they're gapping Hellcats.
But they're not actually fast, right?
Fast? Bro, a Toyota Highlander full of kids and Target groceries could pull on them. These guys downshift just to get passed by a soccer mom in an SUV with a car seat in the back. Look, I just don't get it, Brian. Why buy a 328i when you could have had a 335i? You know, an actual BMW with a pulse. You pay for the badge, get half the power, and still deal with the same repair bills. It's like ordering a steak and getting tofu. Same price, no satisfaction.
Peter, why is everyone losing their minds over a 90s hatchback? It's just a Civic, right?
Oh, Brian, that's not just a Civic. That's the EK9 Type R. The first ever Civic to wear the red Honda badge, built by hand, tuned for the track, and powered by one of the craziest little engines Honda ever made. A 1.6-liter naturally aspirated screamer that revs to 8,400 RPM and pumps out 185 horsepower.
185 horsepower from a 1.6-liter. Dude, that's witchcraft.
Nope, that's pure VTEC black magic. Under the hood sits the legendary B16B, a high-revving 1.6-liter built in Japan by Honda's top engineers. It's like a smaller, angrier version of the NSX's VTEC motor. Every component was blueprinted, balanced, and hand-assembled. Lighter pistons, higher compression, polished ports, all designed to make it spin like a motorcycle engine. But the magic of the EK9 wasn't just in the engine. The chassis was completely reworked, seam welded for rigidity, equipped with a close ratio 5-speed gearbox, and a helical LSD to keep traction through corners. Honda engineers treated it like a race car. Less sound insulation, thinner glass, lightweight seats, and a curb weight of only 2,300 pounds.
So it's like a go-kart that just drank 3 cans of Red Bull.
Pretty much a go-kart that screams at 8,000 RPM and begs for more. That's why these things became icons in the JDM world. They were light, simple, and endlessly upgradable. And today, clean EK9s are selling for $40,000, sometimes more in Japan.
So what started as a budget hatchback is now a collector's car that sounds like a swarm of angry hornets.
So tell me in the comments, would you rather have a modern turbo hatchback that's faster or a 90s Honda that makes your soul scream at 8,400 RPM?
Peter, why does every Kia Forte look like it's driven by someone with zero insurance and maximum audacity?
Because that's exactly who's behind the wheel, Brian. The Kia Forte is the official car of my credit score starts with a 4. You don't buy a Forte, you finance a mistake.
So what kind of person actually drives one?
Oh, you've seen them. Chrome wrap, AutoZone splitter, fake red calipers, all on a 2017 base model. They drive like they're in Fast and Furious, but park like it's their first day on Earth. Every modelist starts with, Step 1, remove hubcaps. Step 2, pray the engine light goes away.
Sounds like a real menace on the road.
Bro, every Forte driver is named Tyler or Kaylee. Tyler revs it in neutral outside Walmart like it's a Hellcat. And Kaylee's car smells like Bath & Body Works through her. Half of them got repossessed last year, and the other half have a temporary tag that's been on since 2021.
But Peter, maybe it's at least quick?
Quick. Brian, a Kia Forte couldn't outrun a mobility scooter if you gave it a head start. 147 horsepower. That's less than a Corolla rental. Hit 80 miles per hour and it starts vibrating like it's sending SOS signals to the universe.
So what's even the point of buying one then?
There's none. For the same cash, you could get a used Civic that'll go 300k miles or a Corolla that doesn't squeak like a haunted attic. But no, Forte drivers love saying it's basically a budget BMW. Bro, it's not a budget BMW. It's a payment plan on disappointment. So yeah, the Kia Forte isn't fast, it isn't fancy, and it sure as hell isn't reliable. But it is the car that says I needed something to get to work, and somehow it's still barely made.
So basically, it's a participation trophy on wheels?
Exactly, Brian. The Kia Forte proof that even mediocrity can get approved with the right cosigner. Brian, you ever notice that every NSX owner acts like they discovered enlightenment?
You mean the guys who say it's basically a Japanese Ferrari?
Yeah, except it's not a Ferrari. It's a Honda with a trust fund. Everyone keeps saying, but Senna helped develop it. Bro, Senna could have tuned a lawnmower and it still handled better than this thing.
But the old NSX was cool though. Lightweight, analog, real driver's car.
Sure, but the new one? It's a hybrid supercar that got gapped by an R8 and forgotten faster than a Vine Star. Honda really said, let's build a $200,000 car and make it feel like a $60,000 one.
Yeah, it's like buying sushi from a gas station. Looks premium, tastes mid.
Exactly. For that money, you can get a 911 Turbo, an R8, or even a used McLaren that brakes just as often, but at least looks expensive.
But Peter, it's fast though. Hybrid. AWD, twin-turbo V6?
Yeah, and it sounds like a Dyson vacuum having a midlife crisis. There's no soul, no drama. It's like Honda tried to build Iron Man but forgot the personality chip.
So you're saying it's all brains, no heart?
Every NSX TikTok sounds the same. It's underrated. It's a hidden gem. Bro, if you have to say it's underrated, maybe it's just rated. Every time I see one, it's parked next to a Civic like, see? Same brand.
Yeah, same brand. One gets stolen, the other gets ignored.
Look, the NSX isn't bad. It's well built, quick, and balanced. But it's missing the one thing supercars are supposed to have. Emotion.
So what you're saying is, it's too perfect for its own good?
Yeah, it's a great car. pretending to be legendary.
And that's why nobody hangs posters of it anymore.
Exactly. The NSX didn't fall off, it just stopped being special.
Peter, why does everyone think a WRX STI is a rally car?
Oh, you mean the car every guy with bad haircuts and a vape habit calls their baby? Yeah, it's basically a loud lawnmower with a Subaru badge, pretending it conquered Pikes Peak while actually sitting in the Target parking lot, blasting Blink 182.
But people say it's a driver's car.
If your idea of driving is flooring it from the Chick-fil-A drive-thru to Home Depot, sure, every owner thinks they're Ken Block. But bro, you're just late to your Amazon Flex shift, wearing a flat brim hat and a cut-off flannel, like it's 2007.
At least the engine sounds cool, right?
That boxer rumble? It's not power, it's rod bearing screaming for help. WRX guys, hear that misfire and call it character. Bro, that's not character, that's detonation. You can hear it all the way at Starbucks, and yeah, she's taking 17 selfies while your CEL glows like a Walmart Christmas tree.
But Subarus are supposed to be reliable.
Reliable? The head gasket's a ticking time bomb. Buy a WRX and basically prepay for oil changes, turbo rebuilds, and at least one tow from AutoZone. Every WRX owner spends more time at Pep Boys than they do with their girlfriend, who probably left after the third 2 a.m. cold start.
Isn't it better than a Civic Type R or GTI?
The GTI's got refinement, the Type R's got precision, and the WRX, it's got clutch smoke, monster cans in the cup holders, and an owner who swears he'll go stage 3 soon. Every WRX guy looks like he just clocked out of AutoZone and spends weekends redlining it outside Chipotle. At the end of the day, the WRX STI is a loud, leaky, overhyped stress toy for dudes who think ambient lighting makes them alpha males.
So it's fast but still broke?
Exactly, it's not a car, it's a lifestyle. And that lifestyle is called financial instability with a blow-off valve.
Peter, why does every 335i owner think they're sitting on some kind of hidden supercar?
Because BMW told them twin-turbo inline-6 and they thought it meant bulletproof. Spoiler alert, Brian, it's not bulletproof, it's self-destructive. They'll say, bro, it's the new 2JZ, but the only thing it replaces is your paycheck. The N54 was BMW's first turbo engine, and it shows. It's basically a science experiment that escaped the lab.
So it's like Frankenstein straight 6?
Exactly. 2 turbos, 6 cylinders, and infinite problems. You get high-pressure fuel pump failure, injectors that leak more than a toddler, and wastegates that sound like a dying squirrel. It's not twin-turbo, it's double the trouble.
That bad?
Brian, people don't buy 335i's. They inherit repair debt. Every 335i owner says it's reliable if you maintain it. Bro, it's reliable if you replace the entire car. They spend more time resetting codes than driving.
So owning one is like subscribing to pain?
Yeah, pain, anxiety, and a constant relationship with your mechanic. You want fun facts? The N54 burns oil, eats coils, and loves throwing random limp modes just to ruin your weekend. Turbo seals, water pumps, Vanos solenoids, everything's on a timer.
Like a ticking time bomb?
Exactly, Brian, except the bomb costs $8,000 to defuse. So yeah, the 335i looks nice, sounds great, pulls hard for about 3 days. After that, it's just tears and tow trucks. Stop calling it a Supra. It's not legendary. It's a lesson.
So what you're saying is 335i owners aren't enthusiasts. They're survivors?
Exactly. The car doesn't build character. It breaks you until you become the character.
Peter, why do Audi S4 owners think they're in a rocket ship when it's just a fancy A4?
Because delusion comes standard, Brian. Every S4 driver thinks they're in a Hellcat until they lose to a Camry in eco mode. Bro, it's not a muscle car. It's a German printer with wheels that drinks oil like it's Red Bull.
But it's supercharged, right? That's cool, though.
Yeah, it's supercharged as in supercharged with problems. The check engine light is basically part of the interior design. These cars have more misfires than a middle school dance. Every pull sounds like an asthma attack.
What's with S4 owners always saying it's just a tune away from a Hellcat?
Yeah, and I'm just a protein shake away from being the Rock. Bro, you have 300 horsepower on a good day, and that's before your DSG decides it's taking the day off. The only thing you're a tune away from is another $3,000 repair bill.
But they look nice, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every S4 looks clean for about 3 weeks until the timing chain starts rattling like a spray paint can and your valve cover leaks more than your ex's DMs. It's luxury with PTSD.
Why do people still buy them, then?
Because they want the Audi badge without the Audi budget. Every S4 owner thinks they're smarter than BMW and richer than Subaru guys, but in reality, they're just one oil change away from financial collapse.
So, who actually drives these?
Mostly dudes named Trevor or Cody. Gym shorts in winter, vape in hand, calling their car German muscle. They'll tell you it's stage 2, but can't afford to replace their coil packs. The car's worth $9,000, but their ego, priceless.
So what's your final verdict, Peter?
The Audi S4 B8 is the perfect car for people who think a V6 with a whine makes them special. It's not fast, it's not reliable, and it sure as hell isn't a Hellcat. It's the luxury version of false confidence.
Hey, Peter, how does tuning actually give your car more horsepower? I always hear guys bragging about getting their car tuned, but I don't get what it really means.
Good question, Stewie. The ECU is like the brain of the car. From the factory, it plays it safe. Mild fuel maps, gentle ignition timing, conservative boost. That way the car runs fine on different gas and weather, and it lasts a long time. But when you tune it, you rewrite those settings to be more aggressive. More fuel, earlier spark, higher boost on turbo cars. That's where the extra power comes from. On a turbo 4-cylinder, you can see 60, 80, even 100 extra horsepower just from a proper tune. On non-turbo cars, it's less dramatic, but throttle response and torque feel way sharper.
So you're telling me just by rewriting a computer, suddenly the car feels completely different?
Exactly, but the trade-off is stress. The engine and transmission are under more load, and if the tune is sloppy, you risk overheating parts.
That sounds insane. But isn't that risky, though? Like if you mess with the wrong settings, couldn't you blow up the engine?
That's why you should always take it to someone who knows what they're doing, so your engine doesn't end up grenading itself.
Peter, is it true that using the air conditioning in a car makes you burn more gas?
Good question, Stewie. Yeah, the AC does use more fuel because the compressor runs off the engine. That means extra load, so your mileage takes a small hit, usually around 5 to 10%. Nothing crazy. But here's where people mess up. They think rolling the windows down is better. At low speeds, like city driving, that's fine. Windows down doesn't create much drag. But once you get on the highway, those open windows start catching air like parachutes. The faster you go, the more resistance you're fighting. And now the engine's working harder just to keep the same speed. That's why at 60, 70 miles an hour, you're actually wasting more fuel with the windows down than if you just ran the AC. There've even been studies on it, and they all say the same thing. Under about 40 miles an hour, windows down is more efficient. Over that, AC is the smarter choice. So the myth that AC always burns way more gas, that's just not true. It depends how and where you're driving.
So basically, I can either sweat or waste fuel.
Exactly. And I'll take wasting fuel every time, because nobody wants to sit in a hot car with quagmire.
Peter, do I really need to warm up my car before driving in the winter?
Good question, Stewie. People still believe that, but it's mostly a myth. Back in the day, when cars had carburetors, you actually did have to let the car sit and idle. If you didn't, the fuel mixture wasn't right, and the engine would stall out. But modern cars don't use carburetors. They've got fuel injection, and the computer adjusts everything automatically. Now, when you start a cold engine, the oil is still thick and hasn't had time to fully circulate through all the moving parts. That's why you give it maybe 30 seconds just to let the oil move around. But people will let it idle for 5 or 10 minutes? That's just burning gas and putting unnecessary hours on the engine. Here's the funny part. Idling doesn't even warm the car up faster. Driving it gently actually gets the engine up to temperature quicker, because under load, the car generates more heat. So not only you're wasting gas by letting it sit, you're also taking longer to get the car warmed up. Keep the revs low, avoid flooring it, and the car will be perfectly fine.
So sitting in the driveway forever doesn't actually help at all.
Exactly, Stewie. Modern cars don't need it. Just start it, give it a half a minute for the oil to circulate, and then drive off easy. That's all it takes.
Peter, what do those liter numbers actually mean? Like, why is a 2-liter engine different from a 5-liter? Is it just bigger?
Good question, Stewie. The liter number tells you how much air and fuel the engine can move in one full cycle. Think of it like lung capacity. Bigger lungs can pull in more air.
So bigger liters automatically mean more power?
Not exactly. A 2-liter turbo engine can outpower a 5-liter without one. It's like comparing a bodybuilder to a marathon runner. Different strengths, different advantages.
So how do they even come up with that number?
That's displacement. You take the volume of one cylinder and multiply it by how many cylinders the engine has. A 2-liter 4-cylinder comes out to 0.5 liters per cylinder, while a 5-liter V8 works out to about 0.625 liters per cylinder.
Then why don't they just keep making huge engines?
Because bigger displacement burns way more gas and makes more emissions. That's why today, small turbocharged engines can make the same power without guzzling fuel.
So it's more about efficiency now?
Exactly. That's why you see 1-liter 3-cylinders or 2 liters making 300, even 400 horsepower. It's not just about size anymore. It's about how smartly that size is used.